Yeah, good day, guys. My name is Abdikabir Akinlabi. This is a forward to our training, and I hope you guys are actually thinking in real life. Because if you are thinking in real life, program is all about thinking in real life. When you think in real life, you'll be able to apply all these things. I've seen several persons among us here who have contacted me on the issue he or she is facing. So that's how I want you to be doing. At the end of maybe in few months, I want to see a full stack programmer in the among the house here. So what I would like to discuss today is remember we did a login system, and if you observe this login system whereby a user enter his username, password, and then click on sign up to enter into the database. So that is how a registration is being done. But in a situation whereby the user already exists, so how do we cater for that? Now listen, you see this SQL we've been working with. You guys need to know the powerful power of SQL. But because you've not been thinking the way I'm thinking, and that's the reason why I want you to think the way I am thinking. So to actually think in real life, look at this. Let me give you something. Let me do something. Let me select probably I know you'll be familiar with all these ones. Select I want to see the what's it called, the kind of rows I have in that. Okay, select username from sign up. Now you see this statement, anything this thing brings out is the result. So you can see all these things. So he selects username from sign up. Now let me explain our new the way our new coding is going to look like. Remember, I think is this one. I've actually changed it, but I want to explain to you one by one. This is the insert underscore code. The first thing is you declared a variable, the server name, which is the local host, the user, which is the root. You can add many users to your SQL. When we get there, when you want to add, you can add users in the under this privilege and the rest. So then the password, for now we don't have a password in our database. Then our database name. Remember, I don't know if you declare a variable connection. You can call it anything. If you like, call it Okpe. But we always like to do something that is meaningful. So all these things you are seeing in blue color here, they are PHP functions. This MySQL I underscore connect is used to connect to database, and the parameters it's going to be using is number one, the server name, the server, the user, the password, and the DB name. If you like, those of you that are going to be doing the PHP later on, you see this variable is the same thing as me putting this local host here. The reason why I'm just declaring variable is so that I will just put the variable name. So you all know that if I say a is equals to 1, so if I'm putting a here, is the same thing as me putting 1 here. So I'm through with this connection. This one makes me to connect. Let me write a comment. This one, connect in PHP is like this. You put a forward and 2 / connect to the database. When you are writing your code, you can also do the same. So this one we have connected. Now we want to tell the program that it is when we press the button, that submit button, that the code should run. If you don't press the button, the reason why is that if you come here and you just refresh, it's possible the something send this to the server. So it's only when we press this sign up button, and you remember the name of this sign up button, if you know your HTML very well, you know how to give it an attribute of name, which is the submit, we call it. We now say if is set post submit. If we should click submit, all this code from here to this place should occur. Now what are the things there? We declare a variable, we call it full name. which is going to undo this post name, which is this one. We declare a variable for it. Another username, another variable username, which is going to hold the username. Another name password, which is going to hold the HTML password. I'm repeating this thing so that you understand. We declare a variable because some of you just wrote the code the same way I wrote it without understanding it. So, and thank God I've been able to solve some of your problems. If you don't see me in the classroom, I'm solving several problems. Daniel was here, I think, yesterday, and several other people. So now, gender. Normally, in your code that you have with you, you don't have this statement here. This statement to this place. I think so. Compare this code with the one you have. If you like, you can write it down. Pause this video, write all these codes down. Now let me now tell you the reason why I'm writing it. I call this variable SQL. You can use anything. Select star from sign up where username is equals to username. Now let me explain this thing. What I'm trying to say is, go and select all the username from this sign up where username, where this column username, this column, where is the column username, this column username is equals to this username here. This username here is the same thing as this thing here. What I'm trying to say here is, if I should enter anything here, you should go to the SQL and check if what I have written here is the same thing as what is inside this username. I'm very sure when you sit down, think very well, bring the brain down, you're going to understand what I'm saying. If you understand the SQL very well, select star from sign up where username of the column username is equals to what I enter into the post. So anything that is bringing out is the result. What I mean by the result is this thing. This is the result. Now this result that is bringing out is storing it inside this MySQL underscore query. This is another query. All these ones, don't be worried about this. Is when we get to PHP, that's in real programming, that we'll discuss that. So I just declare a variable. If you like, call this variable Daniel. If you like, call it Emmanuel. If you like, call it Chris. Call it any name. But I just call it results. This result here is equal to my SQL underscore query, the connection I use, and the query itself. You know, when you are connecting to when you are doing writing any query, you need to state the connection that you are using and the query itself. Those are the two parameters this one is accepting. You can see this MySQL underscore connect is accepting 4 parameters: the server, the username, the password, and the database name. So now what I'm trying to do in essence is, I now declare another variable to count the number of rows, because now this time around the result here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and the rest. So now what I'm saying here is there is another PHP function to know the number of rows it returns. You understand? What I'm trying to do here is, let me explain again, because I like to explain to you, so that let me do a select statement. What I'm trying to, if I should enter Habib inside that box, what I'm doing is select star from sign up where username equals to anything the person enter into this thing. Let's take for instance, this time around is entering Habib. Although I have several Habib as the username, so it's going to return like three rows. So you can see this one three Habibs. Now the result here is 2 rows. Now 2 rows. Let me check the sign up and see one that I use only one username. For instance, if I should say username Chuku, it's going to give me Chuku 2 times. Let me look at this Habiba. Let me write the SQL again. I want to tell you the meaning of that result. Select star from sign up where username equals to Habiba. So this time around, the result is giving me is going to be one. The row is going to be giving me is 1 row. You can see 1 row. This is 1 row. So now let me now explain. This result, this MySQL underscore number of rows is used to return that particular result. Now you see this count. I now asked it that if the count is greater than 1. Some of you, if you are thinking, If the count is greater than 1, that means that there is someone who is existing there. So I now ask, if the result is greater than 1, it should echo this user exists, or user exists, please use another name. You can actually use email to check if the email is because in a situation whereby you want people to be logging in, and that means they should not have the same username. That's the meaning. If you want to ask them to log in with their emails, that means they should not have the same email addresses, because there is going to be conflict. So it is when this username, this count is greater than 1, the user should echo the user exists. Else, if it is, the meaning of else is, that means that this is not greater than 1, then that is when you now have your code of insert. This one you've done it before. So just check this code. What I'm trying to say in essence is, for you to know that before inserting, initially we used to insert. I want all of you to try this thing. Successful person should know that he is now able to check because if you are allowing people to register, they should not have the same parameters of logging in. They can have the same password, they must not have the same username. You understand? So that is a way of checking. There are several checks that we are going to learn. If you don't want people that are more than this particular age, you just select it from that SQL. That's the powerful nature of SQL that we are learning. And me, I'm not teaching you how to read. I'm teaching you the application. So that is the reason why we must follow all these things I'm saying. Let me explain again. Okay, let me practice it. Let me first of all save that thing. Now, let me register someone's name. Emmanuel. I've forgotten Emmanuel's surname. Let's take for instance, I'm using Emmanuel here as username, and the password I'm using maybe JJJ. This password, you know how to set it so that it will not be displaying. So if I should sign up here, he's going to check. What is going to happen here is he's going to go select from this place. Is there a username known as Emmanuel? He's going to check. If it is not, this time around, I've not clicked it. He's going to check, select start from sign up where username is equals to username. This username here is the one here. Now that means if it is existing, he's going to check if the number of rows is more than 1. That means that it's existing. But if it is not existing, then that is when you should now do insert. So now let us check. Sign up. You can see registration successful. That means that it has boycotted this side. It has boycotted all this side. So it now went to this place and did registration successful. You understand? But now let me try and register another person with Emmanuel as let me try and register. Maybe my own name is Akinlabi Abdul Kabir. I'm now entering Emmanuel again, but this time around maybe my password is another thing. This time around it should get me user exists, because user exists, please use another user. So the reason why I'm telling you this is, normally a normal registration, actually if you are doing contact us, there is no way you want people to contact you. They can contact you as many times as they want. But in a situation whereby you are doing a school application, you want a student to be registering, so you should not have the same username. Because if this person register with Daniel, another person register with Daniel, who is now the correct Daniel? So that is the issue. That is the reason why you have to practice this thing. Let me open it for you very well, so that those of you using mobile will get what I'm saying. This time around, what you do is pause this video, check, read it very well. I don't want you to memorize, just understand. We just declare variables here to store all those HTML elements. Then later on, we wrote an SQL statement here to check if the user is existing. So if the user exists, how are we going to know? Is the count. We declare a variable to store the number of rows it returns. So that variable will now say if the variable is more than 1, that means the user is existing. There are several ways of doing this one. You can say if row, there is a way we are going to get to that side. You say if row is equals to this, you should not, but this is another way of doing this. Count, using count. You count the number of rows. So if count is more than 1, that means the user existing. So it should echo this. Else, that is when you now do all these ones here. So try and understand this. And I know that some of you now, you still come and meet me on my WhatsApp and tell me that this error is your friend. You must face errors. You understand? So Daniel was facing some errors. When I checked this thing, I noticed that this one does not he didn't post this thing. Let me expose Daniel. What Daniel was doing was let me check that this HTML in stats. What Daniel was doing is he didn't put this in post. He didn't. There are different methods when we get to PHP. There is get, and the default one is get. So what Daniel does is he didn't put this in. Let me save it and go to your my this thing again. And so this time around, if you are entering anything, you are not asking it to post. So when I check the URL, I just saw username is this. This is what Daniel was having the issue. He said I have a blank this thing. Meanwhile, he has written all those things perfectly. So you can see this one is get method, but there's another method known as post which he didn't put. So you have to watch the code very well. That's why if you are not having time, you cannot learn programming. It's not all about the payments, all about the this thing. You cannot learn programming if you don't have time. So there are some people they've not contacted me this thing. So this time around we are anyway, let me leave that for now. I'm going to see people's reaction. So that we know how we are going to continue our training. So at this time around, try and I know that this thing is one of the core code that you need to actually work on. As I have said earlier, try and be pausing the video. Let me use this one opportunity. You pause the video here, check it, scroll, pause it, check it, scroll. Make sure you arrange your code. It doesn't mean that this one can be here. Sorry, this one can be here. Pause the video and check if your codes are okay. Then you check if it's actually checking the existing user. So thank you very much. I'm Abdikabir Akinlabi.